Joining us tonight is Cal State San Bernardino head coach Kim Chernus of the Victorious Coyotes. On her right, Player of the Year Lauren Nicholson, and to her left is junior middle blocker Haley Jackson. Coyotes win 3-2 over Azusa Pacific in the opening round. This is the 18th straight year that the Coyotes are in the NCAA tournament and the 18th straight opening round victory. Coach, your thoughts on tonight's win?
I just want to say congratulations to Azusa Pacific. It's been a great season. They are a really good team. We knew that this was going to be quite unlike any other opening round that we've had because this tournament I feel like is so deep. I feel like any team in this tournament could probably win it. There's a lot of really, really good teams. But they played extremely well. I think they were nervous in the first set, and I didn't say anything to my team, but I kind of expected them to be a little bit jittery, a little bit nervous. This, I think, is their first appearance. And whereas we have some girls that are comfortable and used to the routine of the regional tournament, but I knew that that gap would close fairly quickly after that, and Azusa would start playing more towards their mean, and they did. And so I'm just really, really proud of our girls for showing a lot of the intangibles that you need to win a close match against a team that's very closely matched to you ability and physicality-wise. And the girls really did a great job at the end. We did the little things that made a difference.
The quality of play out there, I mean, and the pure stubbornness on the court, and I'll address it to both you girls too. I mean, you know, there were so many rallies where it was just like everybody was determined that the ball was not going to hit the floor no matter what. I mean, was this even for tournament play? Was this a level above what you usually see?
I feel like at this point in the season, it's fighting for every single point. We're basically playing for our season, so everyone's just giving it their all because they don't want to go home, basically.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with that. We as a team talked about it before, and at this point in the season, you are fighting for your entire season, and every team is good at this point. You know, there's not a large gap, and so I just think that the mentality that we had, and I think that APU had, was just to not let anything drop, because we're both great teams, and at that point, all you have is your fight.
Talk about the last couple of years you guys had to go up to Anchorage for the regional round. What's it been like to be able to prepare in your own backyard, come play, and come to Van Dyne play, and then just be right in your home where there was a very loud Coyote contingent right behind us, and that was a very impressive turnout and a very well played match. And just talk about being at home, basically, and what difference that's made this year.
We've had the opportunity to host a number of times. I think it's somewhere around 5 or 6 times, something like that. But so that's always the goal. We always want to try and host, right? So this year, looking at the way the year was shaking out, I had 2 teams I was rooting for to host because either one put us in a situation where we could, you're right, kind of take advantage of that, some of those comforts that allow you to just be, a little more in your routine. The fact that our girls got to go to class today, and that takes a little bit of load off their mind about not missing class, and they'll be sleeping in their own bed tonight. And so those things, for me as a coach, it gives me peace of mind. Haley might be able to say how she feels
absolutely.
about it.
It puts us in our routine. That's a big thing in our program, is just staying in your routine. We have the exact same routine every home game, and it gave us a chance to have that again with an away game. And for me as a student athlete, it was really nice to be able to go to class, and I have a final tomorrow that I would have been missing had we been away, but I get to go home and study a little more and take my final. And so I appreciate that at this point in the quarter. And it's just indescribable having a home crowd. There's nothing like it.
That was awesome. I can't say enough about our university stepping up, and our president, kind of basically throwing a mandate out there saying we're getting a bus, and any student or staff member that wants to go to this game, the university is going to take care of it. And so we had that great, exciting crowd in there. So that makes it a championship experience, I think, for the girls.
Yeah, it makes us feel like we're back at home playing in the
and I've done some of your matches. Talk about. I remember reading your preview on the Cal State website saying you expected this to be a fight. I don't know if you quite expected 5 sets going 15-13 in the last. So.
I have learned that in order to not look foolish, I learned not to expect anything because it's tournament time. It's tournament time. You cannot underestimate the will of these student athletes to continue to do something that they love. And I think in particular a Division II student athlete, because a lot of these kids foot half or more of their own bill to go to college and be a student athlete. And this is truly their passion. This is what they love to do in their extracurricular time. And so I've learned a long time ago that anything can happen out on the floor. And we've been on the giving and the receiving end of that. So it's a fun time. It's a fun time.
Kim, there was a lot of ebb and flow tonight. But ultimately, this was a grind match where we were able to pull it out.
Yeah.
What does it say about Haley and Lauren to be able to work together and find a way to be able to grind it where maybe you're not playing your best, but you find a way to win?
Well, we talked about it in the locker room because Lauren didn't have her typical statistical night attacking, but she was like money in serve receive. And because she was so strong in serve receive, along with Lee and Lex, Haley was allowed to go off in the middle. I mean, that you can't get the ball to your middles unless you're handling the ball really well in serve receive. And Lauren was superb in serve receive tonight. And you know, I told her, I said near the end of the game when they were really trying to get the ball to number 25 behind because she was kind of going off, Lauren was like a dog with a scent. She was just looking for that girl to get the ball. And she had one block all game, and it came at like, I think, to put us up 13-12 on the block against her behind. And it was a solo block against the kid who was really a hot hand for them at that time. So that's what champions do. They step up at the right time. And that's what these girls did tonight.
So you survived the crucible. This one, Thad Matta's famous words, survive and advance. And now we look ahead to tomorrow night where potentially you could see another CCA opponent, but on the other hand, you could be looking at a true road match.
Right.
Have any of the environments you've played in so far this year prepared you for what you'll see tomorrow night, potentially?
You were in Alaska last year? Or you weren't?
I was.
Okay. No. They only averaged the #1 fan base in the country right now. I mean, we played in front of 3,000 screaming Alaskan fans last year. Yeah.
And this year in preseason.
Yeah, and in
That was
preseason.
going to be my next
So,
question.
I mean, you know, it's these girls, and I think student athletes in general, they know that they're going to be in front of, you know, rabid fans for the other side. That's going to happen. I think they would prefer that than playing in an empty gym. Because there's energy in the gym, there's fire, and there's excitement. And so as long as people don't get out of line, it's fine. You know, I mean, that's...
How much did playing in that West Region shootout, showcase at the beginning of the year, kind of prepare you for the regional tournament? Because if you're playing on back-to-back days, you're playing in an environment, you know, because it rotates hosts, you're playing in different environments.
I don't know.
I mean, I think we've talked about how different conferences have different styles of play. So for me as a player, I think going to the West Region, you get a glimpse of other conferences and you see different styles and see how it might potentially be if you make it to postseason. And now that we're here, you know, it's a lot crisper, but it's just different styles. And I think that we're prepared to handle any style at this point because we've already gotten a glimpse of it.
All right.
I'm good.
Congrats,
Thanks,
guys.
you guys.
Got right.